Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at some of the not so played Fiendsmith cards. So we have Fiendsmith in Paradise. And at first I thought this card was bad, and then I thought, hey, this might be good for something, and then I read it again, and it's like, no, not really. So first off, we have the fact right here, target a level 7 or higher Life Fiend monster you control, send all cards on the field to the graveyard that are not that monster. So let's assume you are playing some Fiendsmith cards, then sure, you'll have the Fiendsmith Fusion, which is level 7. So that one, well, level 7 or higher, so that would be Desiree. Lacrima is level 6 because you use it to make Beatrice, so yeah, that's not a target. If your opponent special summons a monster while this card is in your graveyard, you banish this card, send a Fiendsmith monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard. So this effect is kinda good when you consider that we have Desiree, which is level 9 apparently. So Desiree has the effect where when this would be sent to the graveyard, this actually has an effect right here. Then target one card on the field, send it to the graveyard. But then you have to take a step back. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you have to shuffle a Life Fiend monster from your graveyard into the deck / extra deck, which at least this is for cost, which is kind of decent, you know? But aside from that, we're sending Desiree from our extra deck, which, I mean, not that problematic because you can recycle it later anyways with, like, Engraver. But, yeah, if we send Desiree this way, here's a question. Why is Desiree in our extra deck? And also, the trigger specifically is only when your opponent special summons a monster from, well, just special summons a monster, I guess. I thought it was from the extra deck for some reason. So it's not that bad at least. But okay, you special summon a monster. We then can send Desiree, shuffle back a guy. Maybe we shuffle back Lacrima, Requiem, Sequence, whatever. Then we get Desiree, Graveyard Effect. Cool. But here's the question. How did Fiendsmith in Paradise get into the graveyard? Well, if we had to search it and we didn't discard it or something, we would have to have resolved effect A over here. Target one level 7 or higher Life Fiend monster you control. Send all cards on the field to the graveyard that are not that monster. So, if we control Desiree, this would be sending also the equipped spells or the equipped spell on Desiree. In this case, it's not quite an equipped spell, it's more an equipped monster. In this case, it would send the sequence that would be presumably equipped onto the Desiree into the graveyard, making this really crappy vanilla. 2.8k attack, 2.4k defense. What you see is what you get, pretty much. I guess it also has the graveyard effect, which, I mean, you can play around easily by making SP, which every deck has at least one copy of SP, and that's not even considering with, like, different in-archetype removal methods. So, for example, with Snake Eye, we can put this in the back row with Flamberge, and then this will never see the light of day again. Very much. Which also turns off this part of Fiendsmith in Paradise, making this not really activatable unless you play a second Desiree for this exact reason, I suppose. So, yeah, Fiendsmith in Paradise, I would rate this card a solid 4 or 3 out of 10. This is significantly worse than, for example, the Vanquished Souls crap that just destroys all monsters your opponent controls, and also a few of yours. Yeah, that's significantly worse. It also does some burn damage for some reason. But alright. Next, we have Fiendsmith Sanct. If you control no face-up monsters, or only face-up monsters you control a Light Fiend monster, special summon a Fiendsmith token. And you cannot declare attacks for the rest of the turn except with Fiend monsters, so the restrictions on this are not too bad. Yeah. If a face-up Fiendsmith monster or monsters you control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can set this card. So as some recursion, which is kinda nice, but this doesn't trigger when they're destroyed by card battle, and only by card effect specifically. So what if your opponent bashes your cards? What if they send your cards to the graveyard? This does absolutely nothing. That's what it does. So alright, I guess. But the fact that this doesn't lock you is fine. So this card is just okay. So if we activate Fiendsmith Sanct, this allows us to go into, well, actually, let's go through the line and see how far we go. So since it's a token, nothing gets sent to the graveyard. We gotta keep that in mind. So activate So we link off, activate Requiem, Requiem summons Engraver, then we can do nothing. Cool, this is worse than having Lurry in the graveyard, because technically then we could Lurry, I suppose. Like, Lurry effect, right? Or no, shuffle back Lurry, I mean. So, at this point in time, this is a little bit worse, but since this doesn't actually Fiend lock you, it just prevents you from attacking. Is there something you can do with just one level 1 token? I don't think so, right? Yeah. It really doesn't do much, huh? Maybe when they add the support that this card will do something. But alright. Let's assume we have one more body. We can then link off Engraver, and then Engraver can return Requiem. If we were to summon Lacrima after this, and we don't like normal summon a Light Fiend monster, this is not going to grab us anything. So Lacrima specifically needs to target a Light Fiend monster, and it requires 2 Light Fiend monsters. So the only 2 Light Fiend monsters we have in this case are Requiem, Engraver, and technically Sequence, but Sequence doesn't shuffle from field, right? Yeah, so we can't use Sequence as material for the Lacrima. So, what exactly can we do here if we fusion summon? Absolutely nothing, I guess. Yeah, this card is terribad right now. I don't see how this is even remotely usable. For Fiendsmith stuff, maybe there's something that can abuse the fact that you give yourself 1 token, I guess. Like, I think Orcus would be happy to get 1 token, so that you could maybe then go like Link Rebo, and then normal summon Harp Horror, link off, activate Harp Horror effect or something. Like, you're happy in that regard, but I mean, you kind of play this package, you know, the Sky Striker package. I think, genuinely, I don't remember if this is the case or not, but I'm pretty sure that the reason we had, where is it? Hornet Drones limited was because of Orcust, for whatever reason. That I don't think there's, like, anything else that would play Hornet Drones anyways. For some people, I mean, for some reason, I don't remember why, but, like, people were playing Orcust with Sky Striker. But, yeah, I guess those days are finally over. So, yeah. That's about all I got here for you guys today, and genuinely, yeah. These spell and traps, they kind of just, yeah, they kind of suck. Yeah, just straight up, yeah. Even if we look at, honestly, uh, the, well, let's go here. If we look at Cracked kind of also sucks. Cracked as this graveyard effect, which I've basically never seen anyone use, is you're fusing from the hand or field. I mean, if you have guys in the hand, that might be the only reason, because using guys on the field is kind of moot point, because you could link them off for sequence, and then use sequence to shuffle them back to make another guy, and then that, yeah, it builds more advantage this way, more or less. So, yeah, these cards, they kind of all suck ass. Not only are they, like, completely not 1-card starters, they're just 1-card awful, really. They don't do anything by themselves. And even with other cards, some of these cards are still kind of bad. Like, sure, with Sanct, potentially, like, you could summon more things, but there just aren't that many Light Fiends anyway, so you probably want to put something on your field aside from Light Fiends. So, on a later turn, even if you do set Sanct, like, let's assume this effect does happen, which I'm assuming it's not going to, for a variety of reasons, but you wouldn't be able to necessarily activate Sanct anyways on the next turn, because you might control a monster, or perhaps a non-Light Fiend monster, so then Sanct would not be activatable. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.